Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the programme tonight, around 9,000 Congress leaders voted today to elect a non-Gandhi as the party chief, a first in over 2 decades. While veteran leader Mallikarjun Kharge is seen as the favourite, his opponent Shashi Tharoor said that he was confident despite the odds. Asked if he would get a clean sweep, as is being predicted by a section of Congress delegates, Mr. Kharge said, "How can we predict now? If I say anything now, it shows that I've got too much ego." Despite what many in the Congress say, it seems absolutely clear that Mr. Kharge is the firm favourite, which raises questions on whether real change in the Congress will be possible. On this programme, our interview with senior leader Jairam Ramesh, that's later on the programme. But we also have a fantastic panel joining us. We are debating the Congress elections. Is this party revival? Is this a revival of the Congress or Gandhi remote control? Joining us, Chetan Bhagat, Tavleen Singh, Dr. Ajay Kumar of the Congress and Vaman Acharya of the BJP. Dr. Ajay Kumar, let me come to you first. Can we just break through the ice on whether or not Mr. Kharge is the official candidate, the unofficial official candidate, or he's completely independent? What's the truth?
Look, Vishnu, I've been hearing a lot of people commenting across, especially it's very rich for the Bharatiya Janata Party, who just selected their president by 2 people to give lecture on, on election the Congress. So that's the first thing. So my colleague from and secondly, I was reading Chetan's article and I was Googling for his article or anything on the BJP. It's the world's best kept secret that there's no article available. The fact is that you're having an election. You might keep saying stuff which may not be present. But let me put it up front there. Whether it is Chetan, whether it's my Bharatiya Janata Party, Tavleen, I definitely believe does write sometimes, very often writes stuff which shows the mirror on us and them, and that's perfectly okay. But the issue is very important. Whether if Sachin filed or anybody else had filed the nomination, what would have been your stand? The question again is, everybody's got the right to file their nomination. Digvijay ji put his nomination and withdrew it. Mr. Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi ji and Priyanka Gandhi have the Gandhis have tried to keep at least away from this. A majority of the people, whoever they vote, the 9,800 odd delegates, whoever voted, will decide. Now, nobody seems to even find that. How do you influence?
How are you answering my question? Respectfully, how are you answering my question?
No, I'll answer your question.
Go ahead.
So in my Lok Sabha constituency, there are around 15, 16 delegates. None of us called any of the delegates. Some of them actually speaking, called and asked, what should we do? So the question again is this whole, canard about spreading about this is the official candidate. Mr. Kharge, earlier it was saying that Ashok Gehlot will be remote controlled. Then when he didn't, then Digvijay Singh will be remote control. But at least here is a party.
So is there a remote control with Mr. Kharge or not? Is he the official candidate of your party or not?
No. Vishnu, my question again is, don't disrespect the guy.
No one's disrespecting.
One sec. Don't disrespect the guy who has won 9 with answer.
No. He's a phenomenal leader. I'm just asking you in the context of the larger Congress story, is he the official candidate nominated by the Gandhis or not? Yes or no?
Why would he be? How can it be an official candidate here with somebody with your kind of maturity?
No. It's been reported everywhere that he has the blessings of the Gandhis and that therefore he would be in a sense reporting to them. Right?
So
in fact, Shashi Tharoor has gone to the extent, Joy, of saying that when he's travelled across states, he's not been met by that same sort of reception as Mr. Kharge has. And that he suspects it's not an even playing field. He said it.
Okay, and correctly so. And let me explain to you a couple of things. When you go to a state for different states to meet the delegates, it's the choice of the delegates whether to land up or not. Second is, we might keep preaching, but has there been any statement from the Congress party remotely? Otherwise, the BJP and my friends in the opposition would have been happily trying to, show evidence of rigging or this. Have you ever heard a single?
No, it's not a question of rigging, and it's not a question of the of how you've conducted the elections. I'm sure you've conducted it really well. I'm just trying to understand if the Gandhis are still in charge, whether it's Tharoor or it is Mr. Kharge.
The question again is, so let me put a couple of facts in upfront. There is nothing remotely in this election process which said that this is the choice. Show it to me. Yes or no? Nobody. Mr. Gandhi has never said it. Sonia ji, nobody's indicated at all.
Okay. Okay.
Second issue. No, let me come. I'll just come and then you can get back to the premise. The second issue is, irrespective of anything, the people, whether it's Chetan or anybody, I read Chetan's article and I initially thought it was a humorous article and then I realized he was being that serious on that. But the issue is very simple. The 9,800 guys voted, and I am telling you, find my Lok Sabha constituency, there are some 14 to 15 odd delegates. Some guys definitely sent me a message and I didn't reply. The question again is, now you keep doubting the process that is absolutely for you to
all right,
decide.
okay, Ajay, it'll be a monologue between you and me. Let the others coming in. I'll give you many more opportunities. I'll give you lots of opportunities. I promise I won't shut you down. All right.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. I would ask you all to wait for a moment. We've got some breaking news coming in. Manish Sisodia is speaking. He's just been released after being questioned.
सीबीआई जैसी एजेंसीज को अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल तरीके से, असंवैधानिक तरीके से, गलत तरीके से दबाव बनाने के लिए यूज कर रही है। एक्साइज पे बात हुई, लेकिन मुझे आश्चर्य हुआ कि वहां भी साइड में मुझ पे दबाव बनाया गया कि आप छोड़ दो, आप में क्यों हो। मैंने कहा क्यों? बोले ये केस आपके ऊपर ऐसे चलते रहेंगे, नहीं तो। मैंने कहा इस केस में तो है नहीं, ये तो खत्म हो जाएंगे। तो मुझे कहा गया कि साइड में कि सत्येंद्र जैन के पास कौन से केस हैं, सत्येंद्र जैन के ऊपर कौन से सच्चे केस हैं, वो भी चल रहे हैं। 6 महीने वो जेल रह सकते हैं तो 6 महीने आप भी रह सकते हो। तो मैंने कहा बीजेपी तो बहुत गंदी पार्टी है, मैं उसके लिए आप थोड़ी छोड़ सकता हूँ। तो मुझे कहा गया कि नहीं देखो ये केस तो ऐसे चलते रहेंगे, दूसरा फायदा आपको वो लोग मुख्यमंत्री भी बनाएंगे फिर। तो मैंने कहा ये मुख्यमंत्री बनने के लिए थोड़ी आया हूँ, मैं तो शिक्षा के लिए आया हूँ। यहाँ राजनीति में हम आना नहीं चाह रहे थे, हम तो शिक्षा के लिए आए हैं, ईमानदारी से काम करने के लिए आए हैं। फिर मैंने साफ बोल दिया कि भैया मुझको तो खुशी मिलती है जब दिल्ली के रिक्शे वाले का बच्चा इंजीनियर बनता है, तो उसमें जो खुशी मिलती है, मुझे सीएम बन के खुशी नहीं मिलती, सीएम बनने के बारे में सोच के खुशी नहीं मिलती। एक दिल्ली की मेड की बच्ची जब डॉक्टर बनती है तो मुझे खुशी मिलती है। मेरा जीवन शिक्षा को समर्पित है। मैं इस तरह के ऑपरेशन लोटस के किसी दबाव में नहीं आने वाला। इनको जो करना है करें, पूरा केस फर्जी है, कहीं दूर से दूर तक कोई सच्चाई नहीं है उसमें, कोई 1 करोड़ का 1 रुपए का कहीं कोई घोटाला नहीं हुआ। ये बीजेपी वाले कहते रहे और दबाव बनाते रहे 10,000 करोड़ का घोटाला हुआ है, कोई घोटाला नहीं हुआ। आज मुझे वहां से भी समझ में आ गया।
And I'm just going to ask Tavleen to sort of, refer to her editor hat, because she can flip between political subjects at will. What Manish Sisodia says over there, really important. He says he was asked by the BJP to become Delhi Chief Minister, and that he told them he will not be a part of Op Lotus. That's the operative part of what he said. Your first thoughts on this huge revelation, on this huge statement?
I find it a little hard to believe that the BJP would openly say anything like that. So, I find that less than credible, to tell you the truth.
Okay. Vamanacharya, would you like to respond to that? Manish Sisodia essentially saying that he'd been asked by the BJP to join them, to become potentially chief minister, and that he's not done that, which is why he faces the CBI inquiry.
He's only trying to divert the attention of the people and bring pressure on the inquiry group, so that if he keeps criticizing BJP and the government directly, he will save himself, he will save his skin. This is a very typical political attitude of AAP. Whenever a problem is there, whenever there is an allegation, they will immediately say that this BJP is doing this and doing it for a specific purpose. This has been there for long, and Sisodia is not an exception for that.
All right, we don't have an Aam Aadmi Party rep on this program just yet, but I'm wondering, Chetan, would you like to offer any comment on this fairly startling and important claim? He says, Op Lotus, he was trying to get into it.
No, I actually I was told I'm being called to discuss my column on the
Yeah, we'll be
Congress president
discussing your
election.
column.
I know breaking news happens all the time, but I wouldn't claim to know more about
Okay,
this
just hang
situation. I
on
mean,
with
I
us.
kind of
I'll
know
come
what's
to the
happening,
other
but
topic.
I'm not an expert on this.
Hang on, Chetan. We'll come to the other topic in a moment. Ajoy, would you like to make any comment on this? And what Manish Sisodia says that the BJP told him to cross over or else?
Look, I served in the Indian Police Service, so I don't think the CBI would be. I mean, if they're so stupid to use this kind of statements, it is a very poor reflection of the kind of people who are managing it. So I suspect no, but what is happening, I think, is if the institutions are being the comments against these various institutions, and they're being misused for fact. I mean, what is the veracity of the excise is a separate issue, but whether the ED is being misused, so they should put on their interrogation. As for a part of transparency, they should put on their interrogation at least on these controversial issues transparently, so that we know whether these organizations are being, or at least the CBI should at least officially contradict these statements. Otherwise, it leaves a lot of room for.
I think Ajoy, he was referring to what happened earlier. Prior to his the interrogation, there was a stage when he alleges that he was approached by the BJP to cross over, that he was even offered the post of chief minister if they were to win the elections. He said no to that, and now this action.
Can I say something?
Half a second, Tavleen. Ajoy, go ahead, and then Tavleen.
So I don't think any investigative agency would be so stupid. I mean, it will be remarkably. I mean, whether they're being misused by the political establishment. They have a history, and I'm not walking away from it. So I'll just finish with 5 seconds. But the ED and CBI of late, and you know that data, 95% or 90% of the opposition leaders. So those questions are, I mean, the CBI and ED have to answer, but they've lost credibility for sure. Yeah.
Okay, Tavleen, go ahead before I come back to the main topic we were discussing. Yeah.
Okay, I think that the Aam Aadmi Party, if it wants to restore its credibility in this matter, should actually tell us who was promised the 20 crores each, and all this business that they've been talking about. It's not as if the BJP can be cleared on this altogether, because we've seen them topple governments, and usually when governments are toppled, there is an involvement of money. But in the case of the Aam Aadmi Party, I really don't understand why they don't bring forward some evidence that people were promised money, because then, we would be able to see that they are actually being targeted for a reason. I don't see that yet.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if they come out with any evidence. In the past, there was a statement that apparently they have audio-visual proof of this conversation as well. That's not emerged by any means. But let's come back to the topic at hand, the big topic we've been discussing until this breaking news, the Congress elections. The essential point that we want to know is anything fundamentally going to change in the Congress party? Chetan, you have written about it. Would the credibility of this process be destroyed if Mallikarjun Kharge were in fact selected, because there is a suspicion and there is a sense that he is the official candidate, when the Congress, many leaders suggest that, look, we need to have new leadership, fresh blood and new thinking?
Okay. Firstly, thank you, Dr. Ajay Kumar, for reading my column. I mean, I have written columns on the BJP, believe it or not, when they needed the advice, which was well before 2014. In fact, I still get trolled for it. I still get told that why were you suggesting what the BJP should do? And I have been one of the first few people, for example, who said that the Prime Minister now, Prime Minister Modi, there was a time at which you could not write anything positive about him in the English media. I mean, that was a different era, different government in power. The English media especially, he was a person non grata. And I said, you should see the potential he has. That's what the BJP needs to do. So I can send you links if you want. Now, the Congress needs help. Please see it as well-meaning advice. Don't see it as like, oh, it's not about, it's BJP is doing so well. They don't need the advice right now. But the Congress, by admission of Congress's own senior leaders, they need to change things. They need to do things. Now, this election, Vishnu, as the column also says, is no longer just about the process of the president election. This election has taken a different shape or form. This election has taken a family or no family form. Now, it will will never. Firstly, what does official candidate even mean? There is no official candidate, but there is a family approved candidate, which is a euphemism. Often official is euphemism for that. Now, ideally, if the family's grip on the party was very strong, there wouldn't be so many candidates. I mean, there wouldn't be the two candidates, which itself is a big thing. Why are there two candidates? Where did Mr. Tharoor suddenly come from? Ideally, if the family had complete control, they were going to win 300 seats, they would have just said, this person will be the president, which happened in other parties and in Congress in the past. But the fact that there is a real election going on, which is to be celebrated, I give them credit for that. They are doing it democratically, full credit for that. But the fact that this election means there is some voices within the Congress that really want change of the current power structure. Now, of course, I don't know why he found some parts of my column humorous or real, but okay, we know who's going to win. We know that. But the more interesting thing is how many votes does Mr. Tharoor poll? How many? If it's like 10, 20, 50, which has happened in the past to the previous people who tried to become Congress president and they were not from the family, yes, then if the same old Congress, it will all be for nothing, whatever. But if out of 9,000, let's say he gets 1,000 votes, 1,500 votes, 2,000 votes, that still means Mr. Kharge will be the president. Very good, congratulations. But at the same time, that will mean that there are voices within the Congress which are willing to go against the grain, because it's not about, yes, the family hasn't officially blessed Mr. Kharge, but Mr. Tharoor has gone on record to say that we need change, high command structure needs to change. He has taken on things which
right,
which others
and
have
what if
not.
he gets a higher percentage? Just going along your article, what if he gets more?
Yeah, if he gets the more, then it will be like, people, the delegates are going to feel, see, because a lot of time delegates say it's a wasted vote, and if by chance someone finds out, see, there's always that anxiety and fear, then I'm in trouble. But if it's like going to be 1,000, 2,000, let's say, it's like a quarter of the vote, others are going to feel, you know what, we could have maybe made real changes. Think about it. If Mr. Tharoor comes to power, he is not as big as the Gandhi family. For the delegates, there is more power to go around. Actually, it's better for everyone, all the delegates. But the only reason they're not doing it is because they don't know if it's going to
All right, all right, I take that point. Is it going to be worth anything? Is what is this process? Chetan, I got it. I get your point. Let Ajay respond to that. Ajay, go ahead.
No, one is, look, Chetan, I have great respect for some of the stuff you write. So please, apologies if it was sounded offensive. So sorry on that. But the important part, I think, is, look, Shashi is definitely has campaigned hard, and my view is that somebody like him with new ideas should be definitely, whoever wins or loses, I think they must use his talent across. If he loses, in case Shashi loses, then they must use his talent within the party, because I think the fundamental issue which we also have to look back is it's in a competition between two hardcore congressmen. And if Mr. Tharoor has found a position of, and I'm speaking as a congressperson, not as anybody in the working committee or anything else, but my views are absolutely personal. But I think somebody with that talent, and I think Chetan is right on that issue, that you must use people of those kind of with different mindset, who want to bring in different kinds of changes, and the campaigns on both sides have been refreshing. Even Mr. Kharge ran a very low-key but very personal campaign, and Shashi, I think, brought a lot of energy to the campaign. It would be very important for the party to use somebody like Shashi's talent, if you ask me truthfully, in the organization, because there are lots to learn from it, and I think it would be very beneficial. Instead of saying us and them, or etc. That's my personal view. I strongly believe in what. And finding the election itself is a tectonic shift, and it's been good for the party. Long way to still go, but yes.
All right, Tavleen. Mr. Kharge said that Sonia Gandhi is a key player in the Congress. The party cannot work without her guidance. Advice of the Gandhis is important. Again, this is the old world thinking, which so many leaders in the Congress have had problems with. Many of them have left the Congress party. So, if it is a Mr. Kharge, then is it not remote control?
He was telling the truth. Whether it's him or Shashi, in the end, the Gandhi family, in the past few decades, at least 2 decades, has been the center. The core of the Congress party is no longer its record in the freedom movement or all the other stuff that it's done. It is a party that that is really based around this family. So obviously there's going to be a remote control. Even if Shashi wins, you think that he's going to be able to defy Sonia Gandhi on any decision that she would make. Secondly, please remember that when they say that, there's no official candidate, this would be more credible if they hadn't made that big drama with Gehlot. It was only after that Gehlot refused to be the family's candidate in this that we have Mr. Kharge jumping in. So, I'm actually quite impressed that they've had an election. I agree with Chetan that already is a step forward. But if the Congress has to revive, it's got to, cut the umbilical cord with the family. The family, I've said this before and I'll say it again, has to take a little bit of a back seat, like, non-executive members of the board or something, and let other people come forward. We don't see that happening yet.
Okay. Mr. Vamanacharya, the Congress party says that, look, in as much as the BJP can criticize the election process, the BJP doesn't have anything comparable. As far as the leadership in the party is concerned, it is absolutely centralized, and therefore the BJP should actually be saying that, look, at least there are some elections which is taking place, and that there is credibility associated with it. How would you respond?
Before electing any president in BJP also, there is a lot of churning at different levels, right from an assembly constituency to up to the national leadership. Everybody thinks then a consensus candidate is proposed and he becomes the president. Election is not the only way to get a president who is suitable, who can perform. Okay, it is good that Congress has gone and Congress wants to be out of Congress, especially Gandhi family. It's nice, but who is the official candidate and how in the same party one person is called as official candidate, the other is called unofficial candidate. What is the meaning of this? Congress has already decided that its candidate is Mallikarjun Kharge. But the situation of Mallikarjun Kharge, just 2 days before in Karnataka, Mallikarjun Kharge said that I am not actually interested in becoming Congress president, but I have been asked, rather I have been forced. Just because the family is with me, I am contesting this election. If this is the case, what is the freedom or what is the new idea that can come? Karnataka leaders want somehow Kharge to be away from Karnataka and be Delhi. Karnataka leadership is quite happy in Congress. But how about the performance independently at his age and at his experience and at his background? How can he perform beyond Congress, the category or the Gandhi
I think
family?
that's for the Congress and for Mr. Kharge himself to actually be able to figure out if he wins. Mr. Kumar, quick comment to you. I need to wrap up this. We'll go ahead.
No, first of all, Vamanacharya Saab has made a statement which I was in Karnataka. I've never heard Mr. Kharge say that. So, the fact that TV shows got a very short memory, so that's not correct, Mr. Acharya. I really request you to withdraw that. The second issue, I think, which is very important is, what about the Prime Minister? 73-year-old. I mean, he should also retire, right? I mean, if you think Kharge is too old, you get the Prime Minister to retire also. Modi is 73 years young and Kharge is old. So that kind of dichotomy is a little too difficult to digest. The fact is, I think you'll see a lot of changes. It is happening. Maybe the speed is not ideal to everybody's setting, and I accept that. But you will see a lot of things happening, I think, in the coming few months. And if we have to be an answer to the kind of politics which BJP propagates, it's very important for us also to be stronger, leaner, smarter. And like Tablina Chetan and Mr. Acharya also said, it's good. It is important for the opposition to be strong if we want democracy and this country to be on the right path. We need to be stronger, and that's critical for not only for our own survival, for the rest of us also.
All right. Well, let's see if the Congress will be stronger at the end of this entire process. The 19th is when the results actually come out. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. We've got more on this topic. An interview with Jairam Ramesh, who I spoke to earlier on the day. He joins. That interview plays out in just a few moments after this short break. And then we move on to our next topic this evening. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It's a 1-hour episode of Left, Right and Centre. We've been discussing the Congress elections. Will this change be real, or is Mallikarjun Kharge, the senior leader, essentially the leader nominated by the Gandhis and essentially the person who's likely to win? I spoke to senior leader Jairam Ramesh earlier on. This is that interview. Thanks, Mr. Ramesh, very much for being with us. Now, Mallikarjun Kharge has been considered the Gandhi family's unofficial candidate, as it were. That word official has been used several times. He apparently has the support of a large number of senior leaders, while Mr. Tharoor has pitched himself as a candidate of change for the party. But if there is an official candidate, how is this a truly free election process?
There is no official candidate. I think these are all figments of the media imagination. There is no official candidate. There are two candidates, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge and Dr. Shashi Tharoor. It's a free, fair and transparent election. The Congress party is the only party which conducts elections for its post of its top leader, the president of the party. We've done it 5 times before. This is the 6th time that we are doing. And we are the only political party that has set up an independent election authority. We have created a TN type figure within the organization to ensure that the elections are free and fair and transparent.
Okay. Mr. Ramesh, Mallikarjun Kharge has said that Sonia Gandhi is a key player in the Congress. The party cannot work without the advice and the guidance of the Gandhis. So again, is there no way of moving beyond the Gandhis, assuming that it's him, assuming it's, or for that matter, if it's Shashi Tharoor? Isn't the Congress at this juncture really about needing to take a decision on whether others can be taking decisions other than the Gandhis?
Dr. Tharoor himself is on record as having said that Srimati Sonia Gandhi and Mr. Rahul Gandhi occupy unique positions in the Congress party organizations. And that's the view of each and every congressman and congresswoman. I don't think there's no contradiction between having a free, fair and transparent poll for the Congress presidency and recognizing, acknowledging and accepting the fact that Srimati Sonia Gandhi has a unique position in the party organization, as does Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
So would there therefore be remote control, whoever wins the election?
Absolutely not. This question was asked of Mr. Rahul Gandhi in Karnataka in one of his press interactions near Tumkur, and he answered it the way it should be answered. He said, look, to call it a remote control is an insult to the people whom you are expecting to be remote controlled. And it's also an insult to the people whom you're accusing of remote control. I think these are all absolutely, the bogus terms that are used largely in the media or by the critics of the Congress party. These are two very competent individuals, and it's a choice that 9,000 odd PCC delegates will make, have already exercised their vote, and the whole process is being monitored. And every effort has been made to ensure that it's free, fair, and transparent. Which, as I said, I come back to what I said right at the beginning. We are the only political party that conducts elections for the post of its president, and not only that, we are the only party which has had an independent election authority for ensuring that these polls are seen to be fair and free and transparent.
Just a quick question. Will the new president answer to Sonia Gandhi?
Absolutely not. The new president is the new president.
Okay.
Srimati Sonia Gandhi is the former Congress president, as is Mr. Rahul Gandhi, the former Congress president. And whoever is elected as Congress president, the result will be announced on the 19th of October evening, will be the Congress president. I mean, the Congress president is the Congress president.
All right. Now, Shashi Tharoor has alleged that the contest has not been a level playing one. For example, in accessing delegates, he claims that...
I would like to cut you short, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, because, these allegations, so-called allegations, have been answered. The best person to answer them is our TN station, Mr. Madhusudan Mistry. He's answered them repeatedly. He has said that every effort has been taken to ensure that the polls are free, fair and transparent. We have gone out of our way to ensure no bias, no partiality. I myself, 3 of my spokespersons have resigned as spokespersons in order to be working for the campaign of one of the candidates, and none of us have said anything publicly.
No, but I'll tell you what
about
Mr. Tharoor has
choice.
said.
I think
Ramesh,
the only person to answer this question is
Madhusudan Mistry,
the
right?
chairman.
But let me ask you nonetheless. This is what Shashi Tharoor has alleged. He says that several PCC chiefs and senior leaders were not available for a meeting with him during visits to respective states.
These allegations are allegations. They have been answered by Mr. Madhusudan Mistry. He has taken every precaution, every care. He has taken, he's to the point of even sending a letter to us 48 hours ago.
So is there an untruth in what Shashi Tharoor has said, that senior leaders have not been meeting him? Is there an untruth in what he has said?
Let me just say this, that he even went to the extent of saying 48 hours ago that those in charge of a state, the AICC in charges, cannot vote in the states for which they are in charge of, but they have to vote in their home state. So, I think Mr. Mistry has been very, very meticulous, and he's been very particular about ensuring that these polls are perceived to be free, fair and transparent. And I hope that whatever the result on the 19th of October, when it's announced, will be accepted with grace by all of us. And we move on.
Is there any reason to suggest that the results won't be accepted with grace?
I'm expecting it would be accepted with grace. I'm confident it will be accepted with grace. I'm sure there will be some naysayers in the media and the opposition who will keep raising all these questions and doubts. But we have demonstrated that we are the only political party which has conducted a free, fair and transparent election for the post of its president, and we have respected the independence and the professionalism of the Central Election Authority, which is more than what can be said of the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, the manner in which they have completely destroyed the independence and professionalism of the Election Commission.
But Mr. Ramesh, one more question. Even if he doesn't win, will Shashi Tharoor in some quarters of the Congress be seen as some sort of a hero, someone who actually had the gumption of standing up to the Gandhis, asking for change, campaigning on the basis of change?
I'll see him as an MP. I'll see him as chairman of the Standing Committee on the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, and a very articulate and a very active MP. That's how he will be seen. That's how I will see him, certainly. He's very much in the Congress party. Mr. Kharge and he, of course, there are differences between the two in terms of their experience, in terms of their political backgrounds. But this is all, the decision will be announced. The decision that the PCC delegates have taken will be announced about 48 hours from now.
All right. Thank you, sir, very much for being with us. Jairam Ramesh saying that this is a free and entirely transparent election process. Results expected in a couple of days from now. Will the Congress have a real change in terms of leadership, or will it be more of the same? We'll wait and see. Thanks, sir, very much for being with us. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.
Mamata Banerjee today said Sourav Ganguly has been deprived of his post as Indian Cricket Board chairperson and appealed to Prime Minister Modi to compensate him by sending him to the ICC or the International Cricket Council. Ganguly had been unfairly left out, is what the Bengal Chief Minister said, calling it bad and sad. He's been deprived. Why is he being deprived? What is his fault? Everybody knows it. All the countries, the world, we are proud of him. We'll bring in our panel in a moment. A quick look at this report. All right, we'll come to that report in just a moment from now, but let me just introduce our panel this evening. I'm joined by Mihir Bose, Professor Saugata Roy of the Trinamool Congress, Bhaskar Ghosh of the BJP, Gautam Bhattacharya, a senior sports journalist, Professor Debraj Mukherjee, and Rakesh Rao. Thank you all very much for being with us. Professor Roy, does Mamata Banerjee have a shred of evidence that, do you personally believe that there was an effort to bring Sourav Ganguly into the BJP? He said no, and that's why he's suffering now.
That is the feeling people have. That is the conjecture made by people. But the fact is that the courts allowed the president and secretary of the BCCI to have another term.
Yes.
One office bearer, Joy Shah, is said to become secretary again. But for Sourav Ganguly, that support was not available. It seemed that there was a plan to keep him out of the BCCI. That's why Mamata Banerjee has called the whole matter bad and sad. Sourav Ganguly has been India Test captain, and he is an icon in Bengal, extremely popular. In Bengal, not only in Bengal but all over the country. So Mamata Banerjee wants the Prime Minister to intervene to see that Sourav Ganguly can go to the International Cricket Council as one of the members so that he has a chance of becoming president of the International Cricket Council.
Okay. Bhaskar Ghosh, would you... I get that, sir. Let me just go across to my panelists. Bhaskar Ghosh, to the central allegation that this is some sort of vendetta against Ganguly. It's being done because he didn't accept an offer by the BJP. Firstly, did the BJP give him some sort of offer to contest elections or be part of the party?
It is quite unfortunate that a learned person like Professor Shashi Tharoor is also engaged into petty politics in the field of sports, arena of sports. First of all, let me tell you one thing. Sourav Ganguly, by rotations, she was given enough chance to be the BCCI president, and later on, as the other members has to support him. So others member doesn't support him, then of course.
No, but Mr. Ghosh, that's not my question.
Choice.
My question is, did the BJP reach out to Sourav Ganguly to get him to contest in the elections or to join the party? Yes or no?
First of all, BJP never officially reached out to Sourav Ganguly.
Did they reach out to him unofficially, sir?
So even you see that the entire media, entire world, entire Bengal has seen that Honorable the Home Minister along with the BJP leaders has went to have just a courtesy meeting in the Sourav Ganguly's house. But that is nothing. That time also the media has, they have explored the idea.
So I'm not asking about how it's been reported in the media. I'm asking you as a person from the media, was there an official or unofficial effort made by the BJP to bring in Sourav Ganguly to the party?
No,
yes,
not at
no?
all, not at all.
Okay.
Let me tell you, not at all. There was a courtesy meeting, and because that time the Honorable Home Minister was visiting Kolkata, and he is, as Professor Roy has told, that he is icon.
All right, no effort being brought in.
Just once again, let me finish. Then if he's an icon, then why they are not appointing him or selecting him as a brand ambassador of West Bengal?
All right, so that's a larger point, and we'll discuss that. Let's focus on Ganguly.
On the BJP.
I'm not sure the Ganguly versus Shah Rukh Khan for icon of Bengal argument actually is necessarily cogent over here. But I'll come back to you in a moment. Mihir Bose, is this an open secret that Ganguly was shunted out of his post as BCCI president?
Well, I think what is distressing about all this is that the way cricket has become politicized in India. This is a development that has taken place in the last few years. Cricket was never political. In fact, what is distressing is that India has gone down the route of Pakistan, where the Pakistan president is the head of Pakistan cricket and so on. And this is the inevitable result of cricket being heavily politicized. I don't know the inner workings of what took place between Sourav Ganguly and the BJP, whether he was whether they tried to induct him into the party or not. But the Prime Minister of India should have no role to play in whether who the Indian nominee for the ICC is, because I think this is giving a very, very bad image to the world. India is the biggest power in cricket in the world. India runs world cricket, and the idea that the Indian Prime Minister should have a role in it is not something that India should project.
Gautam Bhattacharya, with Mamata Banerjee making the statement saying that Sourav Ganguly shouldn't be the victim of politics, isn't she politicizing this entire issue herself?
Yes, unfortunately, Sourav, it seems that has now got caught in this crossfire. There is definitely a political tinge to it. See, what used to happen with Sourav was during his playing days, even if he was dropped, I mean, that was in a different context. You would see these effigies being burnt and no sorrow, no taste kind of thing. But now it's a different scenario. And in the context of what has happened, I doubt that this is going to help Saurav's cause if he harbors his ICC ambitions at this point. Maybe later, yes.
Debraj Mukherjee, isn't it an open secret that Saurav Ganguly is somebody that both the Trinamool Congress and the BJP have vied for, because he has enormous stake in Bengal. He's immensely popular, and therefore he has always been somebody that both parties have wanted, and he's evidently said no to both, at least so far.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, when Mamata Banerjee indicates in her statement somewhere that please understand that Saurav is not political, in the sense that he doesn't want to take the political plunge. So that should not be his decision to join or not to join should not be should not sort of prevent his chances of becoming a cricket administrator. So she's trying to suggest that don't impose a quid pro quo on Saurav. But it's clearly it's very clear. And look, Saurav Ganguly is really he's an icon in Bengal, and not just as a cricketer, but as a successful Bengali, as a standout personality, as someone who's done TV shows, who's sort of very popular face in Bengal. So Saurav is somebody that political parties who are starved of a real face. I mean, apart from Mamata Banerjee in the Trinamool Congress, and perhaps nobody in the BJP has a persona like Saurav Ganguly in Bengal, and he has that status that political parties would naturally vie for and seek to co-opt. But then so far it doesn't seem Saurav is particularly enamored of a political role, and he's tried in his way to stay out of it, and yet sort of, it's like thrice he was offered the crown and thrice he refused. I think he sort of treaded a very, very delicate path, and I think somehow that's kind of unraveled for him now. So I think he was expected to take the next step, which he's unwilling to take, and therefore he's kind of sort of been left out of the equation. Frankly speaking, I don't think it's any political party can sort of afford to sideline Saurav, the kind of image he has in Bengal, vis-a-vis Bengal politics. So I don't know how this is going to unravel going forward. Some kind of accommodation, I think, will be made by one of the parties.
Right.
But I think it's a story that hasn't fully played out into my mind.
I think it'll play out if Ganguly says something, but I don't think he's probably decided at this stage that he shouldn't. Rakesh Rao, isn't it ultimately really sad that one of Indian cricket's finest sons, finds himself in the middle of this huge political battle between the Congress, between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress, and that's the last thing that you want, the politicization of our cricket heroes.
Absolutely. For me, for all Saurav Ganguly doesn't care a damn. I mean, whether A is saying something or B is saying, he knows where he stood in the BCCI, what he wanted to achieve, what he couldn't achieve without any support. So he knows where he is, and let the politicians make their statements, gain whatever that they want to gain out of it. But I, for one, I mean, I've seen him and I've interacted with him for more than 25 years. Knowing the man, he knows exactly what he's doing. And trust me, he'll be a happier man in the CAB than he has been since 2019, ever since he became the BCCI head. And also, let's respect what he's doing. I mean, we all are trying to look at him like a victim. As long as he had the support, he walked in. He was preferred ahead of Brijesh Patel, who was a senior. But in 2019, what happened? We forgot because our span of memory is so short. Yep. Today, he has been sidelined for reasons best known to people who have supported him then. But at the same time, don't feel sorry for Saurav. Don't cry for Saurav. Saurav knows what he's doing. And trust me, if he hasn't got into the ICC, it is for a reason. Number one, when he was offered the IPL chairmanship, he didn't take it, which was quite obvious because that is like stepping down. But then Saurav has his pride. Saurav knows what he's doing. And I completely agree with Mihirda when he says that don't get politics into this, and to appeal to, I mean, a chief minister making an appeal to the prime minister of this country to get one man into the ICC. I mean, I don't even want to use a strong word here, but I'm very sorry that we have come to this state where, after all, it's a sports federation. It is just it is like in India, you have more than 30 sports federations.
Yeah.
Would you have included anybody else? And, just to come back to BCCI again, when Anil Kumble was sidelined, when he was so unceremoniously asked to leave the post of India's coach, did anybody step in and say, no, please retain this man because he's a man of integrity? Ravi Shastri replaced him, not a word was spoken.
Right.
And if you still go and read Anil Kumble's resignation, note, what a beautifully worded note that was. I mean, that exposed the BCCI, the way people work. So I maintain that, Saurabh knows what he's doing. He doesn't need anybody's support. And trust me, he'll be a happier man in CAB.
All right. Well, thanks very much for all of you sharing those details with us. We're running out of time on this program, but as we leave you, let's just take a listen to what Mamata Banerjee said in this report.
A day ahead of the BCCI annual general meeting comes Mamata Banerjee's appeal for Sourav Ganguly.
My humble regards to the Prime Minister. Please take care that Sourav must be allowed to contest the ICC election. He's been deprived. Why he has been deprived? What is his fault?
The West Bengal Chief Minister on Monday expressed her shock at Sourav Ganguly not getting re-nominated for the post of BCCI President, but Jai Shah being allowed a second term as Secretary. The TMC had earlier registered a strong protest against Ganguly's removal. They had alleged that the former India skipper was paying the price for saying no to joining the BJP. Meanwhile, Bengal's leader of opposition and BJP leader Shubhendu Adhikari countered the attack by Mamata Banerjee.
ममता जी पहले सौरभ गांगुली को बंगाल का ब्रांड एम्बेसडर डिक्लेयर कीजिए, शाहरुख खान का हटाइए। बंगाल का ब्रांड एम्बेसडर कौन है? शाहरुख खान क्यों नहीं? वहाँ सौरभ गांगुली को होना चाहिए। पहले करने बोलिए, पॉलिटिक्स ज्यादा मत करने बोलिए।
हमारे हिंदुस्तान की क्रिकेट की दुनिया में एक बड़ा सितारे के नाम होते हैं सौरभ गांगुली। उनको पद से हटाए गए, उनको गरिमा को खत्म किए गए और उनसे बदसलूकी करते हुए ये घोर अन्याय किए गए हैं।
Political power plays have always been witnessed in BCCI. It has been widely reported that Amit Shah met the BCCI top brass, including Ganguly, on 6th October at his house in New Delhi, during which Ganguly's exit route was charted. So is Mamata Banerjee responding to the BJP's influence on the BCCI? Her requests, however, are unlikely to be heard. But with Sourav Ganguly, the king of comebacks, announcing that he will contest the election for the president of the Cricket Association of Bengal, he still has his chance to get back into cricket administration. With Rika Roy in New Delhi and camera person Anurag Tripathi in Kolkata, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.